Hi friends, I'm Vivek Atray and you're here to watch another episode of the Good Vibes Show with Vivek. And this is absolutely a show where we feature people who are positive, cheerful, and have not only good vibes but great vibes. And today I have two friends, Rahul and Polly Prithpal. I can safely say that they are younger and junior to me because they're from my school, and I think they're happy to hear that anyway. Being younger is always in fashion and nobody wants to be older. But I feel that they have the vibes and the pep which we want to talk about. But before we get into that, let us talk about early life and career. So Polly, how's been your journey till now? And of course your name is Prithpal, but I'll call you Polly with your permission here.
Right.
Yeah. What's been going on?
So I am a second generation businessman. So my father had a metal manufacturing unit which I got in, which I inherited, and then I'm an engineer by education and an artist by passion.
Well said.
What I do is I make metal sculptures out of scrap metal parts, which look like pots and certain animal figures or whatever inspires me.
And we can show one of them there. Is it visible on the screen? Yes. So let's talk about that one.
So this is just basically made out of all scrap metal parts, and I give names to all my sculptures. So this particular board here is called Heriko. So it's because of a distinct hairdo which this guy flaunts.
Spikes.
Yeah. So this is Heriko, and I have other. This one I call Cap Dap. So that's a CAPPDAPP.
Yeah, but
So this is what keeps me busy.
no, but it's very distinctive, and you've been featured in the media. You've been recognized for this, and of course, boys with spikes are very commonly seen in places, but these kind of features are not seen. But it's a very quick summary of your career, and we'll come back to you on various things. Very nice to meet you as well, Rahul. After a long while, it's like we're having coffee cup shop for my friends, and we're also being featured on the show at the same time. So, how is your career going in your medical field, as well as what else keeps you busy?
So, sir, I basically graduated as a dentist, and I specialized in a field which is called oral and maxillofacial surgery. And in simple terms, I fix people's faces.
Yeah. If they need fixing, or everyone needs fixing.
So I see a lot of young chaps who don't wear helmets and land up on the road. And so it's as far as my work is concerned, it's quite intricate. For dentistry also, we have a lot of small scale movement, and it has to be really accurate. The same goes for surgical work. So, and thankfully, being from St. John's, I developed good skill in art. And in fact, a lot of people recognize me because of my handwriting. They all ask me,
yes,
"Are you
yes,
St. John's?"
Yes,
so
yes.
that was part of something which we inherited from the
You
school.
are the exception to the rule of doctors.
Actually. And yes, then of course, sir, I'm also, as Polly said, I'm a third generation doctor in the family. And so I did inherit a lot of interest in art and photography from my father, which I still try to pursue whenever I get the time. And probably that's why Polly and I bonded from our meeting.
And that's why you're both here together, because I knew the rapport and the vibe, and I said, and we were also, since Sajoba, St. John's has been brought up.
Sir.
So Sajoba is the St. John's Old Boys Association, of which I was the president, and Rahul and Polly were very much a part of the team.
Yes.
We worked together for a year, and then since then also they've been working very much actively, and me not so much, but still. But since we've come to this, Polly, let's talk about Sajoba itself. What is Sajoba for you, and how does the ethos of St. John's and Sajoba make you what you are?
So Sajoba is a unique experiment. It is one of the best things which I'll be very open when I say this, and I'll be very proud to say this. That is one of the best things that has actually happened to Chandigarh, because the kind of bonding, the kind of friendship Sajoba exuberates in all its events. Let it be the cricket match, let it be the football match, let it be the winter ball, or even when the school has its sports day. The kind of friendship, the kind of bonding that is exhibited there is amazing. So and in 24 hours time, if you are able to spend 1 hour or maybe 2 hours in that kind of friendship and that kind of positivity and good vibes, I think it is amazing. Sajoba itself, I would say, all the other alumni around the country, they actually look up to Sajoba. And I'm very proud that I am part of
And you're an
St.
integral
George and
part.
Sajoba.
Absolutely, and we had Mr. ML Sareen and Mrs. Sareen with Max Sareen on our show, and we talked about Sajoba, and he was obviously a founder of it and one of the main protagonists. And we are so inspired by Max sir. So Rahul, what about you? Let's talk about Sajoba in your perspective.
Yes, as Polly said, sir, it's something unique because it's a completely voluntary organization, and yet it manages to function under the extreme of conditions,
Yeah.
And nobody is expected to do anything, but everybody does it. And the most wonderful part for me, at least coming from a medical background, is that the opportunity to meet people from all walks of life. Yes, the school factor is there, the vibe is there, the positivity is there. But the most amazing part for me is that I managed to meet so many other people from so many different walks of life, doing so many other things.
Absolutely.
And which is a great learning experience in itself.
And also, I would say that Sajoba is considered by many from outside to be more of a fun organization with parties and rally, etc. We'll talk about the rally. But it is a serious organization, and the blood camp and other efforts and recognizing and assisting those who need assistance in society is one of the main pillars. So talk about that.
So, I completely agree with you when you said that people from outside consider it that Sajoba guys are all the time having fun and it's all about partying. But I differ here big time because it's not like that. Anything that looks simple on the outside has to have a lot of engineering, lot of clockwork precision at the background.
That's very well said.
So if rally is appearing to some people that is fun, like people are just moving cars, they don't know that the teams are positioned 2 hours prior. The route is opened, and there is a comm check, there is a weather check, there is medical officers are there on board. Everything is clockwork precision. Only then it appears to be fun.
This is of course the Sajoba car rally you're talking about, which is held annually.
Even the other events,
Even
the
other
winter
events,
ball.
yeah.
The winter ball, we do the winter ball and we make sure no outsiders are there, no gate crashing is there, and it is a safe place for all the ladies around, or all the guests around, or even the participants or the guys who are kind of performing.
And the blood camp sees a lot of entries, a lot of people donating blood. And so many people from underprivileged families have been helped by Sajoba, and the school also does. It's a great ethos, no doubt. What do you think is Sajoba and Chandigarh's contribution to your lives? Let's talk a little more about early days, Chandigarh, cycling to school perhaps, and what are the memories from there, Rahul?
Sir, the most wonderful part about Chandigarh was that, on one side there was this freedom of movement. The very fact of living right next to Himachal, the lake is there, all these unique landscape features surrounding you, actually. And it was at the same time a very secure environment. But the best part was that a lot of people with Punjab University, PGI and other institutional influences, so many people were traveling abroad for education and then coming back. We were in touch with so many things in the world, and yet we grew up in a small and a safe environment.
Yeah.
I think that translated into a lot of positivity.
I think I should have called you guys on this show before because you're so expressive, so erudite, and such great vibes. So, Polly, what does Chandigarh mean to you? Has it changed? Has it evolved? How much of a Chandigarh boy are you? And would you rather have lived anywhere else than Chandigarh in your life?
Sir,
Including Hawaii, Honolulu, jo bhi aap socho.
Sir, again, Chandigarh, as we all know, has never been replicated in any part of the country, which I don't know why. Because you being in the administration, I think you are at a better position.
Let's say red tape is one of the reasons.
Answer that. But I think Chandigarh has to be replicated in all parts of the globe, because it's a very well planned city, and anything which is well planned, everybody likes well planned things. So that includes me. So if the road is clean and the traffic is well mannered, I think.
What has changed from your childhood or growing up days to now?
So the traffic has increased, but then we really can't blame it because the population of India has increased, and we actually can't ask people not to come to a better place to live. Because as the constitution allows us to, that we can live and work anywhere in the country.
We should, yeah.
So anybody who knows about Chandigarh will always try and come and buy a piece of place in Chandigarh and live. Like if you remember correctly, if I remember correctly, during the COVID days, I believe that I've been told also that a lot of people from Delhi, they sold almost everything off and bought houses in Chandigarh because
right.
they thought that now everything is going to be online, and Delhi, as we all know, had a very sorry situation with respect to COVID. So everybody a lot of people shifted.
Many CEOs who are from Chandigarh used to work abroad. They came here and started working. They came back. We have a lot of top guys back to Chandigarh.
Yes.
So I think Chandigarh is something which I think it's a ready-made example, and all the other cities should kind of take cues from this place and make their cities a better place. There is no harm in copying something which is.
Rahul, any problems of Chandigarh that you can see and what should be done about them? Traffic is one you mentioned.
So yes, crowding is, and of course that also relates to I would say accommodation, housing. These are again to quote Polly, you are in the administration, you know better how to deal.
I was. You are.
Sorry.
It's word.
But I think, sir, apart from that, the most amazing part is that even something which was laid out and planned out so many years ago is still working perfectly because things are taken care of. I think
it's a living city.
I think it's mutual because we actually give enough back to the city in terms of cleanliness, in terms of driving properly, following the rules. So people who have grown up in Chandigarh and are part of Chandigarh, their contribution matches what was given to us.
Let's come to something different. Polly, what about your, let's say, personal philosophy? How have you reached where you are in life? Why did you start creating these different elements in your life? You could have been running your factory or your company. What made you do that? And what is your X factor, let's say?
So my X factor is that I can shape metal, which for anybody who doesn't know how metal works, it looks very difficult. But since I know how metal works and then I have the means and the resources, so I can actually bend something which on the face of it doesn't appear that this shape cannot be changed. Right. So this I think is my
that we can see.
Yeah. So how I got into making polyballs so I've always been a little creative and a little artistic when I was a kid. I used to sketch when I was in school, pencil sketches. And then I have been told that when I was very young, I used to sing also.
You were told?
Yeah, I was told by my mother and
It's a very, very young.
Very, very young that I used to sing. So, and at that time we didn't have telephones or for that matter recording instruments that.
तो अब कहाँ गए वो मतलब दोबारा शुरू करो यार?
Oh sir, I will definitely try.
Maybe you can sing.
I haven't been told that with this voice I can sing, but I will definitely
Maybe
try.
you can do voiceovers for movies.
So that artistic skill was always there. So since I was in the factory for the entire day, so I started tinkering with the little metal pieces lying around, and something came up. So then Doc came over to my factory for a few times, and then he encouraged me, and like another friend of ours who was also a surgeon, he also encouraged me. In fact, you know Dr. Vishwanath Singh.
Yeah, of course I know him so well.
Joy sir. So he kind of encouraged me, this is something very beautiful and you should continue. And my late dad also kind of encouraged me that this is something very beautiful. So that is how I started. I started very small, and now with the
now you're being recognized.
Yeah, the kind of love I'm getting from people around, it's nice.
And now you're on the Good Vibe show. I keep just joking. So Rahul, what about you? What makes you tick and rock?
So the whole kind of profession I am in is the satisfaction of work done. whether it's treating a child with a cleft lip or it's fixing someone's toe.
Because the human face is so intricate.
Yes.
I mean, it's God's creation.
Very true.
How can we even pretend to tinker with it? But we have to make it sometimes.
So the results speak for themselves. It's a very satisfying job, so to say, because it's it's you're not doing something just for as a profession or getting returns. The work satisfaction is tremendous.
Do you get people who come for cosmetic reasons as well?
Yes.
Not accident reasons?
No, they do, sir, definitely. Well, again, sir, as you said that the genetics of birth and creation are so intricate. Nobody is perfect, and especially since we're discussing just a few minutes ago about social media and things like that. So then people are becoming more and more conscious of their looks, and then they want that ideal. So in fact, the American Aesthetic Dentistry Association is spelled with an E. The one in India is spelled with an AE in classical English. Because the Americans, everybody wants to look the same. So everybody wants the same smile and the same face. That's the difference. You do it the right way, or you do it
This is very interesting. But of course, I would be very intrigued. But we'll talk about it later. If Hrithik Roshan comes to you, how will you improve his face further? I mean, the guy just looks so superb even now. I've seen him in a movie poster. I mean, Patty. Pathania, air something part Pathania is coming. But coming back, now we are at a phase where the youth is overthinking. Now you have kids who are growing fast. So let's, as responsible role models, hopefully, talk about what they should be looking forward to. I speak to a lot of youngsters and they are overstressed, overthinking, too many reels, too much social media. And I think we need to somehow, having reached a certain phase in life, give back to them and tell them that this is not so worrisome as it seems. So maybe I'll start with you, Polly, and come back to Doc.
Sir, I have this theory that the next generation is always smarter than the previous one.
Right.
I
Smarter in some ways?
No, I completely agree that they are smarter in all ways.
Okay.
So all they need is a little bit of fine tuning. Which we cannot do it openly. We have to do it in such a way that they don't understand that they are being fine-tuned. We have to be smart enough.
They're so smart.
No, then we also have to be smart enough.
Yes.
Because the point is, if you tell your kids that social media is bad and you have to be off the phone. So whenever they see you, what they'll do is, okay, you're not on the phone. But at the back of when you're not there, they'll be on the phone. So then you have to talk to them and you have to be like a friend and you have to make them understand, and at the same time try not to be on the phone yourself, because that is very difficult for even like the three of us. I think keeping our hands off the phone becomes a task at times.
It's an immense problem these days.
Yeah, so then that is what I'm trying to say, that we have to kind of make ourselves understand, and only then we can
basically they don't listen to what we say. They watch what we do and what we are.
So that in case you want your kids to be a little fit and eat right, so one has to try not to go out as often as we do, or try to eat a little healthy food.
That's not good for us also.
Try to exercise with them. So these small things which we have to, and our previous generation, like my parents, they were so engrossed in their making the ends meet that they didn't understand these technicalities about life. So now since we've been told and we've been made to understand and we read about it, so I think we should try and make our kids understand that this is how it should be done.
Absolutely. Rahul, what about you? Do you think a balance of physical, mental fitness is something they need, or is there something else? What should parents do and what should seniors do?
Okay, sir, as you both mentioned, actually the most important part for our next generation is being a role model.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, again, the influx of information from social media is actually limited, and they don't realize that. Everybody is watching, 30-second clips about this, about that. The disadvantage is that they don't retain anything.
And the bigger picture doesn't come in that.
The bigger picture doesn't come in. They don't retain anything, so they don't realize what's how they are connected to each other.
Yeah.
So just an example about food or health, suddenly something becomes a fitness fad or some diet becomes popular. is meaningless if you don't look at it in the bigger picture. It's by the time you get over it, it might have caused some harm. So I think that's what's important. The kids are getting too many little packets of information which they don't realize the
And they get
relevance of.
influenced by them.
Yeah.
And we have these so-called influencers, and I'm also
Yes.
supposed to be one of them. You're influencing the kids. Hopefully, I'm doing it in the right direction.
Positive manner, yes.
But tell me, you're also. We're talking about good vibes.
Sir.
How do you maintain fitness, physical and mental? What is is it yoga? Is it walk? Is it meditation? What is it?
Well, definitely, sir. I do meditate. I've been reading a lot, and again, like I said, it's not in packets. I've actually been reading
Very good.
about Buddhism and basic being again from a medical background, how the brain works and how Buddhism works or how meditation works, and it's actually quite straightforward if you just follow it.
And quite scientific.
Very
Meditation is
scientific,
quite
yes.
scientific.
Very scientific, sir.
Yeah, there are studies which say that even CEOs who meditate are better performers.
Yes.
And of course, doctors like you will tell us that if you meditate, then your cells of your body are also much calmer, you're much healthier.
So they've discovered this not new actually, this neuroplasticity is something that your brain can actually be changed. It's not that if you have a habit, it's going to stay there. If you put in the right habit, and then the brain will change, the body function will change.
Not only can you make people look better, but the neuroplasticity can make them think better.
Yes.
Right?
Very
But what
true.
about you, your fitness? You look so dashing we don't talk about the age, but you look so dashing.
Sir, I would love to do some meditation, but what I do is I try to hit the gym and do some serious weight training. Like
This is his
3
meditation.
That's
to
the
4
meditation,
hours.
yes.
And this is actually, sir, since Doc has brought it up, so whatever time I am spending, 1 hour or maybe 2 hours during the day on making polygons,
1-2 hours per day.
I try to put in that much of a time, sir, because if I don't, then the work piles up, and I have this habit of trying to complete my sculptures in the time period which I have allotted. Because then this is a never-ending process. So this if I'm making this there, I have to allot it a time that by tomorrow evening I have to finish it. Otherwise, this becomes a never-ending. You can add more parts. One has to deliberately say that this is it.
To yourself.
Yes.
And as a writer, I can I can connect with that because I have to tell myself this is my deadline.
Yes.
Of course, as a fortnightly columnist, the deadline is there. But writing a book, there is no deadline.
Yes, sir.
I
Exactly.
can-
Exactly. Because I mean, if you don't stop, then you kind of end up spoiling the sculpture. You have to understand where to stop. I personally think starting a sculpture, with respect to my work, starting is a little easy, but when to know where to stop is the most important.
Very good point. And
So I hit the gym, sir. I try to go to the gym 3 to 4 days a week. Which
That's
I
good.
think is-
And outdoors also, Chandigarh is brilliant.
So I tried cycling, but then suddenly in the evenings or in the morning the
Traffic is too much.
So it becomes a little scary. So I
Yeah, it
kind of
becomes a little
stopped
scary.
cycling.
But what about photography and music, or what about your letting your hair down? I mean,
Yes.
whatever hair we have now left, but letting it down.
Yes, whatever little I have. Definitely, sir. And again, I'll come back to what we discussed about an opportunity like Sajoba, that it's just the act of doing something different. And that's a wonderful aspect. I love to read all sorts of fiction, anything I can get my hands on.
You have to read my 4 books now.
Yeah,
You read
including
2
your
of them,
book,
probably.
yeah, including your books, and definitely. So I think that's a wonderful calming mechanism for the mind. And in fact, at one of the rallies, we were posted near a pond, a lot of water birds there. So of course, I was traveling with my camera and lens and everything, and I pulled out and I started taking pictures.
Okay.
So there's this few villagers standing there, and this elderly gentleman started asking Polly, "Ki kar rahe hai?" So he said, "Good." And he's looking at me changing lenses and equipment.
Check the photo.
And then he says, "Idhe paise milte hain?" why is he doing this? so at a certain level, there is no answer to whatever gives you
whatever gives you that
whatever gives you good vibes. I
gives
guess
you good vibes.
You're doing it.
We're talking about the rally anecdote here. Polly, anything you recall from these days in the rally? I know the rallies so scientifically managed. I've been the president, and it's great. It's a very well organized rally, car rally, and it goes into very difficult terrain at times in the Himalayas. And we start from Chandigarh, of course. So, any incidents that you recall from your years in the rally?
Sir, the one particular incident is similar to what Dr. Datta just shared. It was like villagers come to us and ये गाड़ियाँ क्यों तोड़ रहे हैं? ये इतनी तेज क्यों चला रहे हैं? So then it becomes a little difficult for us to make them actually understand what exactly is happening. So then, because we have to stop the traffic, we have to make sure that there is no incoming traffic onto the road which has been blocked. So making them understand is a different ball game because they have to go to their place. So then the funny things come up. ये क्यों कर रहे हैं? ये क्या इनको क्या जरूरत पड़ी है? क्यों गाड़ियाँ इतनी तेज चला रहे हैं? So that
but then whatever दिल दा मामला you can say कि भाई ये passion है, वो करना है बस it could be in different ways. So we're coming to the close of the episode. Let's talk about something which is very important for the youth, especially to handle. How do you handle crisis personally? I mean, have you been faced with a crisis? How do you overcome it? What is your mantra? I mean, we are people who can just share things like that.
So, sir, I have had crisis at work, on the operating table, personal life. Maybe there's an accident on the road, or my vehicle also gets hit. I think the most important thing at that time is just take a deep breath and stay calm, because you have to get out of that crisis. If you panic yourself, you will muddle everything up, including yourself. So the most important thing I think at that time is there's a crisis, calm yourself first, then look at what is happening.
No, but another thing, Doc, you and he have personalities, which of course I know you very well, so they are personalities you might burst into laughter any second. I mean, that is the kind of personality you guys have. And maybe in the company that we have. So there's something about that which is very important. What about you?
Sir, I am trying to be as calm as Dr. Datta, and I'm trying to do what he is saying should be done. So as of now, I like to believe that I'm a very planned person. So I don't let crisis hit me, because I personally think that I am ready for anything.
But
I like to plan, but then when something happens, I take it as it is. Yeah, I do panic at times.
I can also going to ask you, sorry to interrupt. I was tempted to say, Pritpal को गुस्सा क्यों आता है?
Sir, मेरे को गुस्सा दो कारणों से आता है. एक तो गुस्सा आता है because of the genes, which I don't think I can do anything about.
We're not wearing jeans.
and secondly, sir, I don't like people or situations which are fake and they are created to just add drama into the life.
That's right.
So I personally think if there is a situation and like two persons should sit across the table, talk it out and finish it up. Because if the other person is trying to earn some brownie points, and then that kind of makes me a little upset, and then I don't like to be soft with that person. I just like to be that let's clear it out.
Let's clear it out. But to interrupt you because time is running out. But then, what makes your heart sing? What really delights you? I'm going to ask you this also.
Sir, I love to be with my family.
Yeah.
I love to be with my friends, and when I'm there with my core group of friends, like the 7-8 of us with our families, that is the best part.
Or 3 of us.
Yeah, that is the best time. That is the time which I enjoy. Like we have our home parties, we have food, and the kids are going around because our kids have practically grown up together. So that is actually that makes me very happy.
And you?
Yes, like you said, sir, that the comfort of being with people who you love, people who love you, I think that changes everything.
But also being with a book, as you said,
Always.
going deep into
That is my personal escape.
and his personal escape, we already know, and that will work.
Yeah.
What a lovely conversation we've had, and really nice to have you, Doc and Polly, on this show. We should call it the Doc and Polly show, but we still call it the Good Vibes show. So let's keep doing what we do and stay happy and cheerful always. Thank you very much for watching.